saw from the title of today's video, we will be reading for 24 hours, but not straight. Let me explain. I love filming these 24-hour reading challenges, but I don't have the time right now to read for 24 hours straight. So instead, I will be reading over a 24-hour period, which means that I will just be stopping the clock when I'm not reading. So if I'm eating or if I'm filming another video or whatever it is, if I'm not reading, I will be stopping the clock, but I will be reading for a 24-hour period, if that makes sense. I honestly love filming these types of videos because one, it helps me stay committed to my monthly TBRs, and two, it forces me to slow down. Okay, this lighting is making me look way paler than I am right now. I don't know what is going on, but like I said, I love filming these types of videos because it forces me to slow down a bit, especially now that I'm in my third trimester and I'm nearing the final stretch of my pregnancy. I have been go a lot lately, trying to get everything ready for our baby boy's arrival. My body is definitely telling me to slow down. I've been so tired, and again, these types of videos just help me do that, slow down, and just do one of my favorite hobbies, which is reading. I'm also in a slight reading slump because I have just not been reading good books in March. Every book I've read has either been a 2 or 3 star. So I am in a slight reading slump, and hopefully this video helps me find a really good book and gets me out of this reading slump. Watch the opposite happen and I just hate every book I read during this video. It could happen, who knows? Also, I don't know if you guys hear the roosters in the background. It's quite early still. It's only 9 in the morning. 9:36. So yeah, so we're gonna start off the clock. The roosters are roostering, you guys. The first book that I want to start reading during this 24-hour reading vlog is The Risk by Elle Kennedy. This is actually the second book in the Briar You series. I read The Chase, which was the first book in the series, last month, and I actually really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars, so I'm really excited to start this one. This book actually follows Brenna and Jake, who are both in college. Jake actually goes to Harvard and is captain of the Harvard's hockey team, versus Brenna is the daughter of Briar U's hockey team coach. So they're kind of enemies, although it's obvious that they are attracted to one another. But this book also involves fake dating, which is one of my favorite tropes. And I fell in love with Brenna's character in The Chase, so I'm really excited to see where her love story goes in this book. So yeah, this is the one we're going to start off with. Let's start the timer. And we're off. Let's start reading, you guys. I think one of the main reasons why I enjoy reading Elle Kennedy's books, well, at least the off-campus series and the Briar series, is because it takes place in New England, specifically Massachusetts, and this book in particular has a lot of Boston references since Jake is a Harvard student. What is going on? What was I saying? This book in particular has a lot of Boston and like Cambridge scenery. And some of you may know, like, I lived in Boston for over 10 years. I now live in Tampa, Florida, which I love living in Florida. And I wouldn't move back to Boston, but sometimes I do miss the Boston area and like Newberry Street and downtown. It's really nice to get like the Boston scenery in this book. It's just giving me cozy vibes, especially since the weather in the book is rainy and gloomy, and it's just making the book feel even cozier. I don't know, I'm just really enjoying it, and that's what I'm trying to say. With that being said, I just got to chapter 15, page 135, and I'm at the part of the book where Jake and Brenna are starting to fake date in order for Brenna to land an internship that will be really important for her career post-grad. I'm really enjoying their banter with one another. They're both very sassy, and they both don't take any shit from each other or from anyone for that matter. So I'm just really enjoying reading their dialogue and enjoying like the build up to what we know is going to happen eventually. I've also been reading for almost 3 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes, and I think I want some coffee. I haven't had my cup of coffee yet, so I think I might make a cup of coffee soon and continue on reading. I actually don't want to put this book down. I'm enjoying it. One of the characters in this book is spring cleaning, and she's decluttering her closet, which just reminded me that I need to do the same. I have so much crap I don't even wear or haven't worn in literally forever that I just need to get rid of. But the thought of spring cleaning right now is exhausting. I'm gonna do it though. I'm going to declutter my closet for spring very soon. This character is motivating me. I just finished The Risk. I really enjoyed this book. It honestly wasn't anything special, but somehow I just really enjoyed this book. I think it was just because it was a fun book to read. There definitely were like a few deep moments, which the author does that a lot in her books. Like she'll have characters with trauma in their past, and this book definitely had some moments that were a little sad and a little deep and could be triggering, so I would definitely look up the trigger warnings before reading this book. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I honestly wouldn't call this a true enemies to lovers or fake dating book, because the enemies to lovers and the fake dating lasted for about 5 seconds. Don't go into this book thinking that it's going to be fake dating or enemies to lovers. Those tropes literally lasted for a second. There really wasn't much on the line for the two main characters, Brenna and Jake, but somehow I just still really enjoyed their relationship, mainly because of their banter. I really liked their banter. I think the author did a great job with the dialogue. Also, the side characters were so funny, especially Hollis and a girl named... what was the girl's name? Ruby was such a blast to read. Like, that girl was so crazy in this book. Also, Summer made some appearances in the book, and I absolutely loved her character in The Chase. They also mentioned Garrett Graham a couple times, and I love him. He has my heart forever. If you decide to read The Risk, don't expect too much from it. Just expect some good banter, some good dialogue, some good side characters, and just a good time. I think for that reason, I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I definitely would recommend it, and I'm definitely going to continue the series and pick up the 3rd book. I'm actually really excited to start that one next. I'm so glad that I actually enjoyed this book, because the last romance book that I read, I hated, and it definitely put me into a reading slump. But now, after reading The Risk, I want to continue reading, and I'm no longer in a reading slump. So yeah, really enjoyed it and would recommend this series. Ignore the fact that I look like absolute crap and that my hair is ridiculous right now. The way this book has had me in a complete chokehold since 6 in the morning. I keep meaning to stop reading to update you guys, but I honestly just can't put the book down. Like, there's so much happening, so many characters switching up. I just can't handle it. Like, there's so much going on in this book. If you're unfamiliar with Ignite Me, this is the 3rd book in the Shatter Me series. It basically picks up right after the 2nd book in the series ends, and it follows Juliet, who has a special gift where she has an incredible strength, and whenever she touches someone, they die. It also follows Adam, who was her love interest in the first 2 books, and then we have Warner, who I absolutely despised in the 1st book, and now I think I love him. Like, what is going on right now? Wow, okay, yeah, I'm literally going to finish this book in one sitting. I'm halfway done with the book already, and it's only 8 a.m. I'm just gonna sit here and finish the rest of this book because I can't do anything else without finding out how this book ends. Like, I need to know. You guys, I'm only about 50 pages away from finishing this book, and I feel like something is going to happen. Like, there's going to be a major plot twist. I'm kind of scared to keep on reading, if I'm being honest. I just feel like something's going to happen, and it's not gonna be good. I don't know. This by far has been the best book in the series so far. Like, I honestly give this book 5 stars. It was so good. It was so quick to read. It literally had me at the edge of my seat. There was so much action. There was a little bit of romance. Juliet had so much character development. Honestly, all the characters did. Even Kenji, who I absolutely love from the very first book. Adam was kind of an ass throughout this entire book, but I completely understand why he was being so rude and disrespectful towards Juliet. He definitely was in a lot of pain. But if I remember correctly, I gave both the first and second book a 3-star rating. This one was just absolute perfection for me. Definitely looking forward to picking up the other books in the series. This is the next book that I'm going to read, Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. This one is a small town romance, opposites attract. So I'm actually really excited. It's supposed to be a cute little rom-com. Let's start reading. A little update. I am not loving this book right now. I think I need to stop picking up Tessa Bailey's books. The only book that I really loved from Tessa Bailey was It Happened One Summer, and I enjoyed Hook, Line, and Sinker, but It Happened One Summer was just elite for me, and every book that I've picked up since then by Tessa Bailey has just not been it. I feel like they're trying too hard. They're just trying too hard to be spicy when there's no actual chemistry between the two main characters. And for this book so far, the female main character is hella annoying. She's in her late 20s and she acts like she's a teenager. She's super impulsive. She does things that, even though she has the right intentions behind her actions, she does things that just comes across very childish and are actually criminal. But the author's trying to make her seem adorable, even though her actions are just not it. At least that's just my personal opinion. And the male character is just not it for me either. I don't know. I'm just not vibing with either of them, if I'm being honest. So it's been a little bit of a struggle to get through this book, if I'm being honest. I'm like this close to DNFing it. I'm halfway through the book and the secret admirer letters have started. I'm genuinely confused as to how Julian doesn't realize that the letters are from the main character. Like, it's so obvious. Who else would the letters be from? It makes 0 sense. I'm struggling just a bit. I am so sorry, you guys. This book is definitely a 1-star read for me. I did not like this book at all. Okay, this plain ass wall behind my couch is really bugging me. I really need to buy something for this wall, but that's for another day. I finally finished this book, you guys. Let's put it right here. I did not like this book one bit. It was just not for me. I just didn't connect with any of the characters in this book. The only character that I really enjoyed was a side character, and it was Julian's sister, Natalie, who is set to get her own book. But even though I liked her character, I don't know if I'm going to read her book because I just think I'm not a fan of Tessa Bailey's writing. Again, I loved It Happened One Summer, but every book I've read since then from her has just felt completely flat for me. And this one was just the worst book that I've read from her. And I know that sounds so harsh, but I was just not vibing with it at all. And obviously this is just my personal opinion. Like, you may have read this book and you could have loved it. I did like that the author made the male main character have anxiety, because I do think it's important to write characters with real life problems. I also have anxiety, but even then I still found it very hard to connect with Julian, and I just didn't really like his character all that much. So that's why I'm giving it a 1-star rating. I hate giving books 1 stars, but I can't, you guys. I'm sorry. Don't mind the noises that my oven is making on in the background. I'm literally about to heat up some pizza because I'm starving. But we're in the final hours of this 24-hour reading vlog, and despite the complete fail of yesterday's book, Secretly Yours, I feel like this has been a pretty good reading vlog. The first 2 books that I read were actually really good and I enjoyed them, but I want to switch it up. I want to read a thriller. I kind of need to take a break from romance after Secretly Yours so I don't get myself into a reading slump. And I actually think I want to read on my iPad. I actually think I want to read The Inmate by Frida McFadden. She wrote The Housemaid, and I read a couple of her other books and absolutely loved them, except for maybe one I didn't like so much. But this one has really good reviews on Goodreads and Amazon Prime Reading, so I think I'm going to give it a chance and see how it goes. The synopsis goes: There are 3 rules Brooke must follow as a new nurse practitioner at a men's maximum security prison. Number 1, treat all prisoners with respect. Number 2, never reveal any personal information. Number 3, never ever become too friendly with the inmate. But none of the staff at the prison knows Brooke has already broken the rules. Nobody knows about her intimate connection to Shane Nelson, one of the most notorious and dangerous inmates. And they certainly don't know that Shane was Brooke's high school sweetheart, the star quarterback who is now spending the rest of his life in prison for a series of grisly murders, or that Brooke's testimony was what put him there. But Shane knows, and he will never forget. Doesn't that sound like it's going to be exciting? I'm excited to start reading it, so let's finish off this 24-hour reading vlog with a good thriller. One thing that I like about Frida's writing, or her books in general, are that her chapters are really short. I don't like thrillers with long chapters because I just feel like the plot gets dragged. But with her books, I feel like her writing is so fast-paced and her chapters are so short, so it makes me feel like I'm flying through her books even if I'm not really flying through them. And it keeps me engaged with the storylines. This book has been pretty good so far. I really have no complaints and I'm enjoying it. I'm glad that I decided to pick up a thriller to finish off this reading vlog. This author has a way of making you think you can guess the twist when you really can't. So there is an obvious, let's say, suspect in this book, and everything points to him being the suspect. But since I've read some of her books already, I know that he can't possibly be the suspect or be part of the big twist that will be revealed at the end, because it's just too obvious, and this author doesn't do obvious. So, and the main character is definitely naive, and she's definitely getting manipulated by certain characters in this book, and it's so obvious that she's getting manipulated, but she can't see it. I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see how this book turns out and how it ends. Someone has been sleeping all day, my little sleepyhead. Hey, baby. I am so incredibly tired right now. I definitely need a nap. The Inmate. I have to say that it's not my fave Frida book. It started off really good and super fast paced. I was really invested in the story. As we got more into the story, it was painfully obvious how dumb the main character was and how she was easily manipulated by literally everyone she came across. I was able to guess half of the big twist. I wasn't able to guess the second half. Like, I knew who was responsible for the murders from the very beginning, but then a side character was like introduced at the very end, so that did catch me off guard. But other than that, I just didn't really like how unrealistic this thriller was. I guess there are really naive people out there that might fall for the same things that the main character fell for, but I don't know. I just felt like she was too dumb, which I know sounds horrible, but if you've read this book, let me know if you feel the same way. So for that reason, I think I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. I guess I would recommend it because it is a good thriller, but don't go into it expecting a whole lot. She definitely has other books that are way better than this one. This one just missed the mark for me. Hi, babies. Are you guys looking out the window? With that being said, you guys, I am done with the reading challenge at this point. Like I said earlier, for the most part, I do think this reading vlog was successful because I did read some pretty good books. The only book that I absolutely hated was Secretly Yours, as I told you guys. But other than that, all the other books were pretty good and I enjoyed my time reading. Let me know in the comments below if you guys like this style of reading vlogs, of where I read for over a 24-hour period, not necessarily 24 hours straight. I feel like doing weekly reading vlogs in this format so I can share like what I've been reading every week with you guys. So yeah, let me know if that's something that you guys want to see, more weekly reading vlogs. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you a part of my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.